Well, hey. It's Tuna and
Dr. Michael Gross.
my dear friend, Dr. Michael Gross. We're here today to share with you an amazing message that Michael has prepared, right? But before we do that, did you ever really wonder about your past, how you ended up where you did? I know I think about that a lot sometimes, and I think, and opportunities like we hear, opportunities are always out there. They're knocking on the door, right?
Absolutely.
So today, our title is, you want to say it? Share?
Closing the door to the past opens to the unlimited door to the future. I changed it a little bit.
That's pretty good. We just came up with this title. So, I mean, it's pretty good. I think that's an awesome way to bring everyone a really powerful message from Michael. And before I do that, I want to give kudos to Michael because he is the author of The Spiritual Primer. Best book I've ever read.
Thank you.
And one of the greatest friends I know.
Ditto. Absolutely.
Okay, so the reason I wanted to give you guys a little nugget on this is because this is the book that changed my life. And you can learn about that on another, it's in my Facebook. You hear about me all the time. I'm always writing about this guy, right?
I'm honored.
But before I go into all that, let me introduce you properly. And I remember last week I had so many issues with reading this. Okay, so I'm just going to read this. So I want to give him credit where credit is due. Okay, and by the way, what do you think of the shirts?
I really like those shirts. Really original. You copied me. You did, or I copied you.
Oh no! This is his words. We are unlimited. You are unlimited, and to learn more about that, let's learn more about Michael, right?
I like that.
Okay. Dr. Michael Gross is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he has been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual counselor, and a teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self-empowerment and he helps them to create the lives they have long sought and to bring forth their intuitive abilities. Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, self-empowerment, and Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the true source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. He remains humble, knowing that the work that he does all comes from God, the true source. My dear friend, Michael Gross, lives in Lakewood, Washington.
Absolutely.
And I have the privilege to be here on his couch with him. With him. That blows me away that I'm so blessed to be living so close that I have this privilege. I really am blessed to be here. And on that note, Michael has also launched a nonprofit. It's called the International Institute of Self-Empowerment, and you'll be hearing more about it through our messages as we progress with it's still currently in infancy stage, but we're really thrilled that it's moving along as quickly as it is. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and introduce everyone to my dear friend, Dr. Michael Gross.
Well, thank you very much. We mentioned this before. What's going to be hhapening is TU's book, Healing the Holes in Your Soul, is now at the printer. Yay! And when it finally comes out, should be shortly, we're going to reverse. And she's going to talk about it, and I'm going to interview her, or whatever she so desires to do, which I believe is a must-read as well.
Thank you.
It's a heck of a journey she took, and it's a wonderful journey.
He made me write it. He says the world needs to hear this, and I'm like,
it's true. She has an important message. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, does closing the door to the past open the door to the future? And we have to really think about that. And how many times I've said, 94% of your thinking comes from your subconscious mind, and 6% comes from your conscious mind. So we're always thinking of the past. We're always comparing the past with the present. And that's kind of the way we work. And I just want to reiterate that because sometimes we forget, or you know that, but you don't think about it. And if we just look at that, just think about, if I ask you my traditional question, you want a hot fudge sundae? You go, yeah, yes, because you had one before. And remember the analogy, you want a hot fudge sundae with sauerkraut and jalapeno peppers. Like, really? So just think about that. But you are not cognizant or aware that you're always looking at the past. However, when you're living in the past, it's so important for us to think about that. Now, the past can be viewed two ways. It can be viewed as a detriment, or it can be viewed as something positive. And, I posted on my Facebook a long time ago, what would I change in my life? And I said nothing, because it got me to this point where I'm able to talk to each one of you, to work with each one of you. But I had to go through that. You want to call it the fire, the trial, whatever you want to call it. But it molded me for whomever I am, what I am becoming, because all of us are becoming something new, and all of us are changing, and we're moving forward in a very positive way, unless you want the experience of the past control you and place you in a prison. See, your thoughts, are what creates your reality. Interesting. So what you think you create, what you create, you experience. Boy, I heard that one before.
I love that quote.
I do too.
Love that
That's why I
quote.
use it.
It's his.
Well, thank you, but it came from the true source. What's really important, everyone, is that we have to put blinders on. When they have a horse, they have those blinders on the side so the horse can only look forward and doesn't get distracted on the left or right. That's what we have to look forward to. Putting on the blinders and always marching forward, walking forward, doing things, everything forward. And realizing that everything you've experienced made you who you are. Now, whether it was challenging, because I don't like the word harmful, danger, or bad, or it's something that is going to be exciting in the future, it has to do with all your thoughts. So look at everything as it made the person you are in the past. If you were successful, it's great. If you ran into challenges, it's great. Because you are always learning something new. Remember what the true source told me the definition of perfection was? Ever growing more perfect. So you're never perfect because you're always growing more perfect. But when I say you're never perfect, it's not a detriment. It means that you're learning something more beautiful. So think of the cars they had in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000.
Muscle cars.
And they're more perfect. I had cars that ate a lot of gas because gas was cheap. And they were big tanks, some of them. And they got smaller and smaller. And then we got cars that were hybrid, which is partially gas and electric, now electric cars. But cars are becoming more perfect. You're becoming more perfect. The food you ate 20 years ago, 15 years ago, it's changed and becoming more perfect. To some degree, your tastes have changed. Everything's moving forward. And it's okay to reminisce about the past, but we cannot afford the luxury of living in the past. And by that, I would say, if you've had a bankruptcy or you've gone failure or something occurred, you learned a lesson. In the manifestation protocols, the class that I was teaching, said, want you to look at failure as being success. There's a real oxymoron, isn't it? Failure being success. Yes, it is success because you learned what worked and didn't work. And that's so important. And because it didn't work in the past doesn't mean it's not going to work in the future. It just means your timing was wrong or incorrect or too early. And if we look at our lives and the path we have taken, some of it was rather challenging, or let's say painful. But we all came here, I'm going to reiterate the theme, to learn about self-worth, self-love, self-esteem. But it takes on different colors, different paths. And supposing in learning those three major items, you have a fear of abandonment. and you lost self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. Or you had the fear of not being accepted, or being insecure, or ridiculed, or judged, or whatever it may be, or you became an alcoholic and drug, or were abused, whatever it was, still boils down to the essence: self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. And that's something we all forget about. And then I look at people, and they go, well, I got self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. But things are changing. The minute I hear the word but, tells me they haven't reached that point. And I remembered, and I think I've told this story before, but there's a woman who came in to me, and she weighed 375 pounds. And she said to me she had trouble taking off weight. Okay. And she said when she was growing up, her mother was a single parent, had to work a lot, so her aunt helped bring her up. And her aunt celebrated birthdays and all this stuff. And she said, I want to be like my aunt. I want to be like my aunt. She's loving and caring and treated me well. She was sometimes better than my mother. I said, that's wonderful. But I can't lose weight, she goes. Having trouble. I said, well, tell me a little bit about your aunt. Oh, my aunt was la 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 la, and she weighed 375 pounds. Okay. Didn't you say you wanted to be like your aunt? Oh. And what she did, she had this mental image of her aunt since she was a young child. Wanted to be just like her aunt. And we worked together by releasing it energetically. There's a special way to do that. But she still loved her aunt and honored her aunt. And she wanted to have the attributes of her aunt, but not the physical beingness. You see, the subconscious mind thinks in black and white. There's no gray. The conscious mind thinks in black, white, and gray. And once she began to understand it, she changed. That's something we need to do. You know, I talk about not having a birthday, but the anniversary of your birth. And many people go, well, what does that mean? Why can't I celebrate my birthday? I go, let me tell you a story. Everything we see, we do, we hear audibly, we do visually, and we embrace within our body somewhere. See, every experience you have is stored in your body. Everything. That's why when you get upset about something, some people have a racing heart, some have indigestion, some have aches and pains, whatever it may be. It's wherever you store it. But let's look a little further. So here you are, a young child, it's your birthday, I'm happy, I got a birthday cake, yeah, and I got my birthday dream and all this stuff. And you look at your mother and father and they're younger, and as you get older, grandma goes from blonde hair or black hair or red hair, whatever, becomes gray hair, and then she develops wrinkles, and your parents do. And the subconscious thought is, I'm going to look that way. You don't realize it, but on my birthday, I'm getting older is what they're saying. They begin to look that way. And I remember one time I was in a hospital with a client, she was in a wheelchair. And this man said to me, you know, someday we're going to be like that. And I walked up to him, looked him straight in the eye and said, maybe you will, but I'm not. And he looked at me, he said, you know what? You're right. You see, thoughts are things. And that door to the past, that belief system, that's what's creating your reality. It's opening the door to the now and the future. And if you were tremendously successful in the past, you're a multimillionaire, and you're not now, but you're living in the past. There's two thoughts. Well, I was a millionaire then. And then something happened, that person will say they lost it. So it's duality, living in the glorious past and in the pain of the past. That's the door of the past. But what is the door of the future? My answer is, what do you desire it to be? Notice my words? Not what I hope it is, not what I want it to be, not what I wish it is, not what I think it is, it's what I desire. Which means that you don't get the hoping, wishing, and wanting. You get the end result. You get the future. So what is the future? Whatever you desire it to be. How limited is it? What you're thinking. Are you limited? Or are you open? We have the gift to create our life. Now, as I said before, I will grant that sometimes we come in with a karmic lesson, and it's very challenging. Sometimes we have to lose everything to begin anew again. But, I want you to think about something. Think about yourself as being a blade of grass. Think about that. You ever walked in a sidewalk that's tar or cement? There's a tiny little crack, and this blade of grass is growing through it. Now, what does this blade of grass think about? Well, there's cement or tar, I can't go through it, I'm going to die or get stuck. No, it says I'm going to find a way. And what it does is grow through the crack. Be like that blade of grass. Or perhaps in the summertime, if you don't water your lawn enough, and I'm kind of guilty of that, the grass turns brown.
I noticed.
She noticed.
I noticed. Well, the neighbors is brown too.
Yeah, so I'm good shape. And it turns brown, it turns tan. And then in the fall, when the rain starts, it turns green again. And in the spring, it's renewed. More grass grows. Because you see that blade of grass in its consciousness doesn't think about the past of dying. It thinks about the unlimited future and opens that door to the unlimited future. Now, if a blade of grass can do that, why can't we? And the answer is because we're always comparing the past with the present, living in the past, and not opening the door to the future. Now, many people will say, well, it's easy for you, but difficult for me. There was an old TV show that used to do that way. And it's only difficult if you desire it to be difficult. Remember, there's no one in control of your life but you. Not your husband, your wife, your family, your friends, your teachers. Nobody's in control. You are, because you have the opportunity to say, this is good, I want to do it. Or no, this is not good, I don't think I want to do it. Notice the frown. Instead of frowning, smile.
Don't get stuck in the hallway.
You got it. Where's the wisdom? And and as to you has said, don't get stuck in the hallway. That's a long hallway.
I know. I dropped off ego, jealousy. All those guys are sitting on the bench in the hallway.
Doing a good job.
We leave them in the hallway.
Isn't that words of wisdom she's expounding? But everyone goes, but. If I do this, but. Well, how do you know?
Then your butt's in the hallway with ego.
Well said. Well said. But that but is keeping you in the past. And remember, I've had a lot of clients say, I can't do it. And they go, you won't. It's all about the leap of faith. The unknown is really known. Well, what does that mean? You, with your soul, are charting a course. And your soul knows what the end is. Now, how you get there is how you design it. And, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Or you can take a circuitous route, which will take you longer. But you'll always get there. Whether it takes 1 day, 1 hour, or 1,000 years, you're going to get there. Because trusting, that's a difficult word. Trusting, not the ego, but trusting your soul, that you will arrive to that point. Because you were created out of love, by love, and with love. And the true source loves you unconditionally. And nothing negative will get in your way and prevent you from doing it, except your thoughts, except your ego. Part of the problem is we are imbued with judgments from so many people, family, friends, relatives, even religious leaders. We are so imbued with that we are confused. And guilt trips are laid on us continually. You know what? Don't take ownership of the past of those guilt trips, because you were being manipulated. And if someone says to you, well, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you did this wrong, they're laying a guilt trip. Instead of saying, well, from all the experiences, you think you learned something. And I would say, yes, I learned something.
I did.
And it's so important. You know, they call it the School of Hard Knocks.
I'm a graduate.
Well, so am I. But it got us to the point we are right now. And you know, all the books you can read about motivation and this and that, there's a lot of truth in it. But all comes down to you. I don't care what book, psychiatrist, psychologist, I don't care what it is. It all comes up, do you want to change your life? / no, I desire to change my life now. Well, how are you going to do it? Number one, let go of the past. Close that door. Number two, open the door to unlimited future. Once you say that, you feel it within your heart, within your soul. So it goes bing, 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 ding, 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 ding. Okay, we got you, Michael. Now we're going to develop your unlimited future and chart a course that's going to bring you love and joy and happiness. We forget to listen to the little inner voice, not to the ego, but to the soul. And to remind all of you, how do I know it's my soul? How do I know it's my ego? The answer is so blatantly and impossibly simple. And that is, the ego will always support its decision. Do this because, do this because, excuse me. But the truth is, the soul just says, do this, period. Just bluntly. Why? Well, I'm your soul. I know it's right for you. You've already charted this course. You're going to end up sitting on the mountain surrounded by love and joy and gold and prosperity and happiness. Instead, the ego says, well, it's not going to happen. Well, you got to do it this way. Well, la, 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 la. And always goes because. Our direction in life is already created to some extent before we incarnate. I'm not talking about fatalism, like you don't have choices. Fatalism is, this is the outline, this is what's going to happen. There are no choices. What I'm talking about is the big picture, meaning the outcome of your life and how easy or difficult or positive or challenging you want it to be. But you'll still end up there. Unless you desire not to listen, and at the end of your days, guess what? You got to come back again and finish unfinished karma. Unless you made it irrevocable, which means you have no choice. It's all up to you.
Then you're stuck here.
And you what?
Are you stuck here when it's irrevocable?
No, you're not stuck here. Irrevocable means you have to follow your path. You walk into walls, you follow your path. And I'm one of those people that said, oh, I'm going to make mine irrevocable. Really? Okay. And then I asked, why did I do that one? And the true source said, because you knew you would back out. So you had to hold your feet to the fire. I said, next time I got to have a little talk here. But not really, because I'm glad everything that happened in my life made me who I am, who you are, and to be able to talk to you in this moment, to work with this beautiful soul, to work with all of you, to empower you. That's how important your life is. And remember, when it's all over and said and done, how much did you love? How much did you care? What is your epitaph? And what is your legacy? You know, in our life, every experience empowers us. Remember, you learn what worked and didn't work. So living in the past, living in that door, what does it gain you? Nothing but your ego, nothing but pain or excuses. Opening the door to the unlimited future means everything that is possible. And you are the SOUL-creator of your life. SOUL-SOLE, I meant to say. And I'll do it again. SOUL-SOLE of your life. Now's the time to waken up. Now's the time to make the decision. Now's the time to close the door of the past. Now's the time for you to realize that you are an unlimited soul and that everything that occurred empowered you to now follow your path. Now's the time to stop listening to all the negativity on media. Oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. Is there some truth? Probably so. Is there a lot of fiction? Probably so. But whatever it is, you can chart your own course. And you do not have to be controlled or manipulated. You have that decision to listen to the thoughts of your soul and move forward, because no one else is in charge of your life. And all the demands everyone puts upon you, it's your life, it's your decision. It's whatever you so desire to do. Whether it's right or wrong, you're going to learn from it and you're going to become empowered. Hopefully, either you will learn quickly or follow the thoughts of your soul. How are we doing on time?
Well, we need to start wrapping it up.
Well, I'm happy we can.
But you know what?
What?
You have a few minutes.
All right.
You have a few minutes. But
We can-
I want to make sure that we give everybody a chance to hear your numbers and stuff and what's coming up on the 14th.
All right. Everyone, thank you.
Mhm.
The last thought I want to leave with you is you are unlimited. Remember that. Close the door to the path and open the door to the unlimited future. I'd like to talk to all of you that on every Tuesday, Pacific, now it's daylight savings time, at 6:30 p.m., I host what I call a call-in. It's all about you asking questions about spirituality, and then I deliver a 10-minute message. And to access it, real simple. All you do is dial 515-604-9097. That's 515-604-9097. And there's an access code, which is 125446#. That's 125446#. Join us, ask us questions. Hopefully I can answer them. But it's all about us realizing that we are the solution and we are making a change on this planet. Because goodness knows we need to do that. Now, if you're bored and you're driving in your car stuck in traffic, I have what I call the replays. And they go from number 3 to 180. And to you, you have the number.
I do. It's 515-606-5211. Once again, it's, wait a minute, where'd it go? 515-606-5211. And it's the same access code, 125446#. 125-446#. And he keeps telling me to not say it too fast.
Right. You know, one of the things I'll share, as I mentioned before, people leave a message. Hi, this is John Doe. Call me 277-64521. I go, what? I got to play it 4 or 5 times to get the number. So please do it slowly. And the second Saturday of
I
every
was
month,
hoping you would say that.
we do what I call a mass consciousness healing. And it starts at, remember, Pacific Daylight Time.
That time.
That time. At 9:55 a.m. and goes to 11:01 a.m., which is roughly 66 minutes. Now, really what is important is that I make an introduction and it's done in silence. And it's the same number, 515-604-9097. 515-604-9097. And the same access code, 125446#. 125-446#.
On top of that, what I'll do is I'll make sure I put everything in the comments below. I'll give you Michael's website, which is Dr. Michael Gross at
Dr. Michael Gross 1.
okay,
One.
the email is drmichaelgross1@gmail.com.
Or my website, and you're correct, drmichaelgross.com. All
Yeah.
one word.
All one word. So I'll make sure everything's in the comments. And we do this every Sunday at 2 o'clock. And we have so much fun doing it. So, you know, we aren't scripted. We're not going to ever be scripted, except for that part where I read it to try and give him all the credit that he deserves. But on that note, do you have any last minute things you want to share, Michael?
Yes. First of all, I want to publicly thank Brad. Brad came up with the idea of setting up a Facebook. And the Facebook page has to do with the mass consciousness healing. And we sat there and say, okay, and he's coming up with a logo. And we're thinking about, what should we call it? And I said, well, we're the solution. And Sue was writing SOUL-LUTION. Oh, wait a minute, I made a mistake, he goes. No, you didn't. So Brad, thank you. Because we're calling it, You Are the Soul-Lucian. I love it.
I think
There
it's
are no
perfect.
accidents. So Brad, if you're watching this, you are unlimited. So thank you, Brad. It's incredible. I'll be sharing more information with it. We all already have the website. We're just refining it. It's going to be a place when those who use the mass consciousness call in to send healing, we can communicate with each other and share our experiences. Everyone share that. Each one of us are the solution. We make a difference. And goodness knows, this is not politically motivated. It's spiritually motivated because this planet needs healing. Thank you, everyone. Remember, you are unlimited. Have a great day.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you to you.
I appreciate everything that Michael's done one more time. There you go. The Spiritual Primer. Definitely, I highly recommend it. And I'll make sure that there's also a link in there into the comments where you can get this book, okay? I'm super excited. Plan it. We're going to be here again every Sunday, 2 o'clock.
Absolutely. Everyone have a great day.
You take care.
Bless you. Namaste.
Namaste.